On the Murray-Darling Basin, so why did the government spend $2,745 a litre when the average price was $2,000 at the Condamine Ballon and catchment?
Sure. Well, let's go through this. First of all, this arrangement was first proposed by the Queensland government, and the price that was sought was $5,000. This was a company that previously a Labor government had dealt with and engaged in a transaction with them on an early occasion when they were in authority. The price that was negotiated was done at arm's length from ministers. It was done by the department and working through the normal processes, which include the assessments of the environmental and economic impacts and arriving at the ultimate price, which they did, which, as you say, was $2,700. Now, this arrangement was dwarfed by the size of the amount that was committed to when Penny Wong, I think, was Water Minister, and that was a more than $300 million amount, which the reports at the time said they paid $40 million over the odds on that one as well. The point to note here is that these matters are handled independently and they're assessed and negotiated. Now, we currently have had a Senate inquiry on this. The department has actually appeared before that in Senate inquiry and has gone through the details of the process that led them to that price and how it was transacted. In addition, there's the Auditor General who undertakes the regular analysis and review of these arrangements, as should be the case. So I think what we're seeing here is a fairly transparent process. It was another transaction that was undertaken as part of that program, a program that was started under the Labor government. The Murray-Darling Basin Plan is a bipartisan initiative. It's one that was arrived at after a great deal of work. No agreement or arrangement is perfect, but is one that enjoys bipartisan support, and transactions have been undertaken by both sides of politics when they've been in government for the purposes of achieving that plan, and this one was no different to that.
But the document is also general looking into this particular issue.
The Auditor General is.
Have you done your own work, Prime Minister, to satisfy yourself that neither Angus Taylor nor Barnaby Joyce had some untoward pecuniary interest in this company?
Well, not only am I, based on the information I have, quite satisfied by that, but the information that's been made available to the Senate inquiry directly by the department makes it very clear that these arrangements were conducted at complete arm's length from any ministers. And in terms of Minister Taylor, he would have had no knowledge or involvement at all.
But those documents have been heavily redacted.
Are you comfortable, though, with the Energy Minister co-founding a company that's based in the Cayman Islands?
Well, this is the same company that did business with the Labor government, so I don't think there's any difference between the company here. Labor did business with them. We've done business with them. Remember, this $300 million plus contract was done with an Argentinian business with a German-born billionaire. So, I mean, if that's going to be the standard by which these things are assessed, well, what we see here, I think, is pretty clearly the Labor Party under a lot of stress in this campaign, unable to answer questions. The most simple of questions when it comes to their emissions reduction policy. The Leader of the Opposition's up in Queensland today. It's a simple question, Bill. What proportion of the 1.3 billion tonnes of carbon emissions reduction will be addressed by forcing companies to buy foreign carbon credits, and at what price? That's the simple question. It's not a difficult question. I can tell him what ours is. Naught. Absolutely naught is required from our policies. But he has made this a part of his policy, so he doesn't want to explain that. So just as his answers are vanishing when it comes to emissions reduction, and he's vanishing from Labor pamphlets and posters all around the country, and his negative gearing policies are vanishing from the website. He's the incredibly disappearing Leader of the Opposition.
So who did benefit from the 2017 water buybacks? Who did benefit financially?
Well, at the end of the day, the Australian environment would have benefited under the Murray-Darling Basin Plan.
Did any of the water make it off that property, though, out of the catchment?
Sorry?
Did any of the water actually make it off that property?
Oh, I'll refer you to what Minister Birmingham said this morning, and happy to provide further details. But these were the same programs that have been pursued as part of the Basin Plan. You see, the department is tasked to pursue this plan, to take advice, to enter and negotiate the contracts at arm's length from ministers. So there's been no change to this process. Absolutely no change to the process. The only thing that has changed is Bill Shorten has become more desperate and Labor have become more desperate, and so they try throwing mud around.
In the interest of